Good Tuesday morning. Wow, Tuesday morning. Hold on, wait a second. Let's go ahead and restart that real quick. Okay, stop that real quick. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and just redo that. Redo that real quick. Good Tuesday evening, South Carolina weather watchers. Hopefully, you want to have a fantastic Tuesday. I am your meteorologist Peterson. Let's go ahead and talk about the weather for your Tuesday evening going into your future. We have some stuff we are going to talk about tonight. Obviously, we still have to talk about the tropics. Tropics is probably one of the main things that we still have to talk about. We're obviously going to talk about the weather tonight. We also will talk about our rain chances as we move through the rest of the week. And then after that, just our future, and that's it. That is it. So that's pretty much all that we are going to talk about. If you have not hit the like button or the subscribe button yet, make sure you go and do so. We are at 585 subscribers. We are 15 away from that main goal of 600 subscribers. So please go and hit the subscribe button if you have not already. Also hit the share button. Share it with all the people that you know. We're trying to get to, again, 600. So let's talk about our current conditions first. First off, there's nothing going on throughout the entire state. Absolutely nothing. And if we go on and scroll our way out and see what's going on throughout the entire U.S., you have rainfall that goes on all the way over here from Florida, over into Mississippi, Louisiana, Arkansas, going into Tennessee and Kentucky. We have rainfall going on up here in the Northeast, into New York, Vermont, and then also some rainfall going on inside of Minnesota, going into the UP of Michigan and Wisconsin, North Dakota, South Dakota, over here into Colorado and the Four Corners region, and then down into places like California, Nevada, and Wyoming, all receiving some rainfall right now. Now for our cloud cover. We do have some cloud cover up there in the upstate right now. We do have some, and we have some that's in other regions like maybe the Midlands, maybe the coastal regions as well. But the main cloud cover that I'm seeing right now is up there in the upstate, right along that South Carolina, Georgia, and North Carolina border in the upstate, where low clouds seem to be present. Now, if we go in and push our way forward to see what that cloud cover looks like as we continue through tonight, you can see that some cloud cover seems present near the coastal regions as well, and that cloud cover up there in the upstate stays relatively kind of like in those same spots. As you continue into tomorrow morning, 7, 8, 9 a.m., cloud cover goes all the way from potentially the low country all the way over into that PD/Grand Strand region. Upstate also has some cloud cover again, just as you continue through the afternoon. And it seems like that most of that cloud cover for tomorrow during the day will still be up there in the upstate while everyone else is staying relatively clear. The Midlands might have some cloud cover. Same thing maybe with the PD, but again, it most likely will be kind of just like some clouds scattered throughout the sky. It won't be anything like a blanket over, or we won't have like that blanket cloud cover. For our current temperatures right now, 72 in Columbia, 71 in Orangeburg, as well as 72 in Somerville, 71 in Sumter, and 70 in Florence, 71 in Conway, and 75 in Myrtle Beach, 75 in Murrells Inlet, and 73 in Georgetown, 76 in Charleston, as well as 72 over here inside of Augusta, 71 in Aiken, and then also over here inside of Clemson, 72, 69 in Greenville, and 70 in Spartanburg, 68 in Gaffney in New York, as well as 67 in Rock Hill, 69 also over there near Greenwood and Lugoff. For your low temperatures for tonight, 61 in Greenville, as well as 59 in Spartanburg, 58 in Rock Hill, 58 also inside of Winsboro and Newbury, 61 in Columbia, and 59 in Sumter, 58 in Florence, and 65 also inside of Myrtle Beach, 63 in Georgetown, and 62 in Moncks Corner, 61 in Walterboro, and 68 in Charleston, 70 in Hilton Head Island. Now for your rainfall for tonight, you can see that we do have the potential for some rainfall up there in the upstate as we move through tonight, potentially and through tomorrow as well. We'll talk about the models and see what they say. But for now, you can see that rainfall threat is mainly up there along that border of Georgia and North Carolina in the upstate. Crazy score for tonight, we're at a 7. Why are we at a 7? Obviously, dry conditions remain, under a 10% chance of precipitation tonight. It's going to be cool. It's going to be crisp. Patchy fog is possible, especially near those rivers But overall, the atmosphere is stable. SPC outlook for tonight, we do not have a risk for any sort of thunderstorm activity throughout the state as we move throughout tonight. No thunderstorm activity as we move throughout the state for tonight. Tomorrow, we do have a thunderstorm risk, but it's up there inside the upstate. So that's Greenville, that's Anderson, that's Spartanburg, that's Gaffney, that's up there inside of Clemson and Central, as that is a thunderstorm risk. Now, will we have any severe thunderstorms? Obviously, right now it's not looking likely, or if we will have any at all, but can you ever rule one out? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. You can never rule out anything, especially when it comes with the weather, because it's unpredictable. Thursday, though, is when we may have to start watching, potentially, for our first severe weather day in a good little bit. We have a marginal risk that goes all the way from Tennessee down into North Carolina and right along that South Carolina, North Carolina border, going a bit into Georgia as well. So, what are we going to have in terms of hazards? Right now, probably, if I was to take a guess, the most likely one would obviously be damaging winds, but again, we're just going to continue to just see what happens as we go through the next 3 days or so. Let's go and talk about excessive rainfall. There is no excessive rainfall that is expected as we go through the next 5 days. So as we go through tonight, tomorrow, going into Thursday, same thing with Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. No excessive rainfall is expected. As we move on, let's go and talk about the model. So you can see time is in the top right corner of your screen. Make sure you go and pay attention to that as we go through. Starting off at 9 o'clock, you can see that we do have apparently some, according to this model, it says we have shower activity going on. Looking at the main radar right now, to be honest, there actually is some shower activity that's actually right along that border right now as we speak. So maybe we could see some of this maybe trying to move into the very far upstate. Again, that's, over there just to the west of Whetstone, Mountain Rest, also the Long Bottom Ford, and in the Blue Ridge region. As we go through tonight, though, you see that we dry off as the night progresses, but as we get to around 5, 6, 7 a.m., rainfalls and maybe a downpour may seem possible as we go into the upstate, again, during that same time frame and that same area. Around like 11 to 12 p.m., still, upstate still has that isolated shower and downpour activity that's possible up there in the far upstate, while everyone else stays dry. As we continue all the way through, here's around 2 p.m. right here, you can see that the upstate may start to get some more rainfall by that time frame, but just everyone else from the Midlands to the Low Country to the PD stays, again, like I said, dry. Now, once we get to around 7, 8, 9 p.m., maybe even to 10 p.m. tomorrow, that's when all that rainfall will most likely go away, and it will stay dry for the next little bit, but it just seems like the rain really just loves the upstate up there as you go all the way to start off into our Thursday. So that's it for our short-term future. What about the long-term future? So starting off here at 2 p.m. on September the 4th, you see rainfall pushes in, but again, it's nothing really heavy in terms of like a storm system coming in, excessive rainfalls. We may have like a little strong / severe storm may try to move into like that upstate region on Thursday, like I talked about earlier. But past that, I'm looking at this little area around September the 8th as well, going into September the 9th and the 10th time frame, maybe looking for some excessive rainfall there. But past that, look at this nice high pressure that takes over around like September the 13th, and we stay dry from around September the 13th, going potentially into like September the 18th. Now again, that's 300 hours out, so things will change once we get to around September the 15th. That's way too far out there. But I will say that it's looking like that we could actually be dry as we go through the mid part of September. So that's it for the long term future. Nothing else really for me to talk about there. Obviously, we know that there is a cold front that will be pushing in, especially as we move through later this week. And I'm looking at it right now. Seems like that the cold front was actually kind of like really defined. If we go into yesterday, you can see that cold front. I mean, you could see it pushing down around September the 6th, going all the way to the 7th. But let's look at it now. Going to September the 6th, you can see it up there, but it's a lot weaker, it seems. It looks like that is a lot weaker than what, obviously, we were anticipating it to be. So, especially in terms of that moist and dry air kind of just both together, the dry air is not as strong pushing down towards South Carolina as we thought that it was going to be. Now, if we go into the actual temperatures themselves, you can see that it may get cool for just, during like the nighttime hours, and maybe as we get later into around like September the 11th and the 12th, probably around like the 12th, the 13th ish, seems like when we start to see that cool air start to dip in. But is that a secondary cold front right there? No. Well, maybe. Actually, it kind of seems like that it might be, because you can see all this dry air start to push in around September the 13th and the 14th, and this will bring us temperatures down into the 50s. You have high temperatures in the low 80s, high 70s, low temperatures in the 50s for a lot of us, if not possibly most of us, getting down into the the high 50s. So just something to look for as we move through into that mid-September range. So that's it for the models, and let's go on and talk about the tropics. So we do in fact have an area that we are watching for, if you remember. We've been talking about this area for actually a good little bit now. It says that a tropical wave located over the far eastern tropical Atlantic southwest of the Cabo Verde Islands continues to produce disorganized shower and thunderstorm activity. Environmental conditions remain conducive for a gradual development of the system during the next several days, and a tropical depression is likely to form late this week or this weekend. The system is expected to move west to west-northwest at around 15 miles per hour across the eastern and the central tropical Atlantic into early next week. So this has a 30% chance of forming over the next 48 hours and a 70% chance of forming over the next 7 days. So will this turn into a hurricane again? We don't know. Will this hit South Carolina? We don't know. Will it form? I mean, that's still the question that we're trying to figure out. But I will say that we do have some models on this. So let's go ahead and show them real quick. Starting off right here, you can see that we do have the low pressure here. And you can see that they're pretty much going all over the place because it's an ensemble. So that means that you have multiple models going in. And for the most part, you can see that it's still all over the place. You have some that go over towards like Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico, the Windward Islands, the Leeward Islands, and then you have some that goes up towards Bermuda, and you have some that remains, obviously the more southern it goes, and also kind of like in like the middle as well. You have some that might just go straight in the middle of those two. So again, like I said, will this hit South Carolina? We don't know. This is 10 days out right here, so again, way too far out. Way too far out to talk about exactly what in the world is going to happen with this, but it's something still you have to be aware of just in case if worse comes to worse, and you need to be prepared for it. Make sure that you have all of your hurricane plans in place just in case if worse comes to worse with this system right here. But there is one out there, and that also means that there may be some people obviously out there saying that, oh, well, this is going to hit the U.S. in around 15 days or so. It's going to be a Category 5 hurricane. Make sure that you guys pay attention for that, because those are going to start rolling out. I've already seen them already rolling out about this system, saying that, oh, it's going to be Category 5, the first Category 6 or something like that. I don't understand why people do that, but that's just the world that we live in. So just make sure that you are paying attention and watching out for stuff like that, and you're not being taken in by that misinformation. And of course, it has that chance And in the long term, they might end up being right. And you might be like, oh, well, they were right the entire time. It was just a lucky guess by that point. But I'm going to get off that topic. But let's go on now, since, I mean, there's nothing else really for me to talk about with the system except for that it's just way too far out, and that we don't even know the intensity for it. It's not even an invest yet, meaning that we don't have the individual, like, models for the intensity guidance, or we don't have, like, the other hurricane models in on it yet, so we're just going to continue to watch for that as well. So that's it for the tropics. So let's go on now and talk with the audience. If you want to be a part of the audience, you can by joining us at 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Let's go on and see what the audience has to say. Starting off, let me go on real quick and make sure that all is good here. Starting off with Mr. Chris, who says, good evening, everyone. Hopefully everyone had a fantastic day. Thank you so much. I did. Hopefully you had a great weather day today. I know at least I did as well. Mr. Anthony says, good evening, everyone. Good evening to you. Mr. Chris also says, please remember to go hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, also share with everyone you know. It will help the stream and get information out as well. First off, he is absolutely correct. We have had, so far, 11 people tune in. We only have 6 likes. I don't know where the other 5 people are that have not hit the like button yet, but if you are part of the other 5 that have not hit the like button yet, make sure you go on and do so. If you don't know how to, you just go on, if you're in full screen on the stream, you go on, you exit out of full screen, and then you go on and just go to hit the like button. It is right there. It is right there. It should be like right under the video. He also says, please remember my wife got some bad news from the doctor today and could use a prayer. Absolutely. Absolutely. If you guys will go on and pray for Mr. Chris's wife, if you could. My cousin Cheryl then says, good evening, man. Good evening, everyone. Hope you all had a wonderful day. I hope you all had a wonderful summer as well. Keep up the good work. I'm at work. Love y'all. Be blessed, Cheryl. Thank you so much for that comment as well. And hopefully, like you said, you had a wonderful summer as well. My Aunt Lula comes in and says, good evening, everyone. I pray that everyone had a great day. I did. Thank you so much for asking that. Also says, good evening, Joseph. I trust all as well. Any weather data for London? Well, in terms of like the exact temperature, like the exact stuff, I would have to go into like a separate app for that. I mean, I possibly could cover it while you are there. But again, it probably won't be as accurate as it would be over here inside of the UK. I mean, inside the US, not UK. But I don't know exactly how it would be over there. But I probably could get something to work while you are over there, though. But just let me know if you do want that or not. Terrell said that she's on a Zoom. That is okay. I'm still glad that you are here. And that's it. Just have other prayers inside the chat for Mr. Chris, and that's all that we have. So, if you want to leave a chat, you still can. You still can. You just have to go on and just be subscribed to the channel because it is subscriber only, and you have to have an account. But now that those chat is now out the way, let's go ahead and talk about the 4 locations outside of South Carolina, that being San Antonio, Texas, Raleigh, North Carolina, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and then the final would be Duncan, Oklahoma. Starting off here at San Antonio. You have low temperatures tonight at 76, high temperatures tomorrow at 98, and the low temperatures tomorrow night at 73. There is indeed no precipitation that is expected over today, or tonight, and tomorrow. But there is also no threat for any sort of excessive rainfall. So, I mean, you're pretty much good in terms of all of that. Moving on to the next location, that being Raleigh, North Carolina, with low temperatures tonight at 58. High temperatures tomorrow at 84, and the low temperatures tomorrow night at 62. No precipitation tonight or tomorrow. In terms of excessive rainfall, you have no excessive rainfall. For severe weather, no severe weather as well. Philadelphia being the third location with low temperatures tonight at 58, high temperatures tomorrow at 81, and then low temperatures tomorrow night at 61. No precipitation tonight or tomorrow, and there is no severe weather that is expected. Excessive rainfall, same thing, no excessive rainfall. And then the final location being Duncan, Oklahoma, with low temperatures tonight at 61, high temperatures tomorrow at 87, and then low temperatures tomorrow night at 65. For excessive rainfall, no excessive rainfall there, and no severe weather is there either. So pretty much for the four locations, it's relatively dry, and no severe weather, no excessive rainfall, so it seems to be good. And so that's all that I have for those four. What's going on throughout the entire U.S.? Hot to extremely hot. Daytime temperatures remain in place across coastal southern California and the interior Northwest, with the Northwest carrying the potential for record-breaking high temperatures. Again, that's from Washington to northern Idaho to Montana. A combination of monsoonal moisture and tropical moisture ahead of tropical cyclone Lorena will bring a marginal to slight risk of excessive rainfall across the southwestern U.S. this week. If you guys did not know, we have a tropical system out there in the eastern Pacific, Tropical Storm Lorenzo, or Lorena, not Lorenzo, Lorena, and that will bring potentially tropical storm force winds over into Baja California, and then it will bring some flash flooding over into southern Arizona, New Mexico, and potentially western Texas. So a lot going to happen over there as we go through like the next part of this week. And then we also have Hurricane Kiko over here that's going to remain a hurricane, but it's pretty much not going to impact anybody like that. And so I believe that is all that there is for me to say. Let me check my Gmail, because I believe we did have a picture come in, and we did come from Thad, who says it doesn't feel like it. I'm going to assume that you're talking about your temperatures, which you are. Says it doesn't feel like it. On the temperature gauge it has around 102 degrees. 102 degrees, and again, with obviously heat index values that could also influence it as well. So just because it's like the real temperature maybe like 95 degrees, and obviously the temperature there shows around like 102, that might just be impacted more by that humidity and then the heat index value bringing it up, because that happens with my own weather station, especially my older one, a lot, where it shows heat index values are like 120 degrees when the heat index value is usually only like 110. So, it can be influenced a lot more. But that's all that I see in my email. If you want to go on and send me an email, you can by sending it to scweather360@gmail.com. Again, that is, if you want to send me any sort of weather pictures, again, that is scweather360@gmail.com. And so far, that is all that I have for tonight. Top fans, Mr. Chris is at number 1. Mr. Anthony is at number 2, and Thad is at number 3. Congratulations to the 3 of y'all for being the top fans for tonight. If you want to be a top fan, you can. You just have to go on and be here early and be active inside the chat. One more reminder before I head off for the night. Make sure again that you go and hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the share button. 585 subscribers, trying to get to 600. We are 15 away from that main goal. We are getting so close. Make sure you go on and share it. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, anything like that. Go on and share it to those. I will be back again tomorrow morning with your Wednesday morning forecast update. Make sure that you are here, because we will be halfway through the week tomorrow, which I know a lot of us are excited about.